into the game here, and I am very excited to see NCC because it's looking like they're doing the homework, and this is going to be looking like a great series to watch.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, NCC is looked at as a playoff team at this point. So if people don't know, in GGLeagues, there's 22 teams in our current league, and Meowington's tied for first actually because they changed it from game wins to series wins. And so because of that, NCC is actually 3-1, and they are currently in I believe, a 5-way tie for third. Okay. And Meowington is in a 2-way tie for first. So losing this could actually put them down and kind of, give up that first place seeding, as well as it can bump NCC up. So I mean, these are two higher level playoff teams in this division, competing to try and knock somebody off their pedestal, whether it be NCC's chances of making playoffs a little bit harder, or Meowington getting into that cluster and maybe losing that first seed.
Right, and it's looking like the teams are going to respect their own boundaries, not one getting some deep wards, or getting some deep wards or safe wards. But other than that, not really much early fighting has been going on, which is just showing the respect that each team has for the other team.
Yeah, neither team really has a good level 1. So it's just beneficial to play the 5-point stance, get a little bit of vision here, a little bit of vision there, and just kind of do a gentleman's handshake and say, okay, we're good.
Right, and we got, let's see, we got BigKash starting blue, and we also got the Sejuani also starting the blue side. It's looking like both sides are wanting to start doing a full clear of their blue side, which is very interesting jungle path. Normal has seen Sejuani very interesting for a Nocturne, so it looks like he's going to go for more power farm than he actually will ganking.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Sejuani at this point is she's got to try and keep up with BigKash in that farm, because if she falls behind at all, then BigKash gets those ultimates, gets an early advantage, and it can just cause that much more of a snowball against her.
Alright, it's looking like we got some slaps going up here in the mid lane. Pantheon doing Pantheon things, but being TF with the gold card is able to reply to a little bit. Both junglers are going to be sitting here though. Sejuani is going to be looking out for that Nocturne. Sejuani is going to see the Nocturne. And looking like Sejuani's going to want to take some gold, possibly. Oh, she's going to queue out. Oof. Both sides inching towards each other there.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a good roam by Will to make sure that BigKash doesn't get countered that hard.
Right, and it's looking like all 3 lanes are going to be pushing in, which is going to give the jungler a little bit more priority on that, on the scuttle bug, on the scuttle crab. But BigKash looking for bottom scuttle, and then we got Sejuani looking for the top scuttle.
Yeah, I think at this point, Vladimir definitely being healthier, it's going to be more beneficial. And with the bot lane, I think Thresh and Ashe at this point are just so much stronger, even with being a little bit pushed up. So I think it's the right play to just kind of separate those two, take what you can get, and just kind of go back.
Right. It's looking like, looking at bot lane, we've got a little bit of a CS war going on. So far, Omiigiri is down 3 CS due to that early push. Other than that, not really much else is happening in this game. It looks like each team is kind of waiting for the other to either make a mistake or get a gank off.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's just they're both farming for that level 6, right? And whoever wins that first team fight is going to be huge. And it's just dependent. Oh, we have something going on in bot lane and top.
Alright, well, it's looking like we got the heal being used from the bot lane. It was a small gank. Small gank on that bot lane. We did get the heal out of the Caitlyn and the Rakan very low. So, and we got a little bit of a slap going on there in the top lane as well. A little bit of a wet noodle fight. Nothing much else happened. But health advantage now, bot lane is looking more towards Meowington than it is for NC.
Yeah, and summoner spell as well. I mean, they burned the heal. It was a good play. You didn't have to burn anything because Turtle isn't caught out, but I would speak too soon.
First blood is going down top lane though. Got a nice gank coming in from the Sejuani. That's actually I think that's one of the rare times that we've seen Meowington actually give up at first blood like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good flash. The Sejuani came from behind turret, and with the way that Turtle was posturing, you couldn't really expect that to have happened. So, I mean, really good play, really good read from the jungler of NCC.
All right, and then as that's going down, we got Meowington taking first Drake, being a fire Drake. Now we're hoping to see a different elemental Drake this time for the soul for Meowington. So taking it. It is going to be a wind Drake. It's not going to be a wind soul this time for Meowington. We're either looking at a ocean soul or a mountain soul.
I actually find that disheartening for Meowington just because of the comp that they've kind of pieced together. I think Wind Soul had actually been the best soul they could have gotten, if not Infernal. It is good that they got the first Infernal Drake, but it's definitely going to be beneficial to try and get that second Drake if possible, just because the movement speed after Ultimate for all these champions are going to be huge.
Right, and then we got, so of course being the soul, being the mountain or the ocean, what do you think each team would be looking for as like best case scenario for the Dragon Souls?
I mean, between the two, I think obviously, if you're NCC, you're looking for that ocean soul, right? You want to have that sustain between your Sedge and your Vladimir to just heal all day. I think if you're actually Meowington, you prefer to see a mountain soul, because if you pick somebody off, you can just shred through those turrets. You get that giant shield, right? And it just makes everything so much harder for the other team to like deal with you.
Both ults have been used top lane actually. Mordekaiser ult and the Vladimir ult. Vladimir's going to get his crit off here. Is going to get the crit Q. The armor is going to be used. TF is going to be able to roam. That's going to be a flash from the Vladimir. That's going to be a flash from the TF getting the kill onto the Vladimir. So flash for flash, 3 ults being used, and again with TF using his ult to get up there. Very well worth for Meowington.
No, absolutely. And Meowington almost gets a turret bot lane, so they had a lot of pressure from getting that win early with against the Rakan. But now they can actually set up for that dive. But it looks like BigKash is going to clear vision, obviously. I think it's huge. It also makes Vladimir burn his teleport. So now there's no teleport advantage come for next dragon fight or even like another big team fight down bot lane. So I think for the side of Meowington, that's actually huge to get that kill and to get it on Will in that case. Just gives him a little bit more pressure in that mid lane and makes those roams a little bit more potent when he starts trying to go bot lane and stuff.
Right, and then we got a little bit of a slap going on in the mid lane. We've got Pantheon is just wailing on the Twisted Fate, but Twisted Fate's got cards. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I think at this point both teams need to start posturing probably for either the next Drake or they need to start trying to posture for that Herald. It looks like NCC is really going to try and force the mid lane pressure, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to do them any good. I mean, I don't think they win that 2v2, and I just think it's a bad idea at this point. BigKash is level 6 and the Sejuani's level 5. So I think honestly the best case scenario, go all in on that Pantheon right now, get the kill and immediately transition to that Rift Herald and try and get that advantage and start snowballing through either bot or even mid itself.
Right. So looking at through the thing, we've got CS advantage going to be in that bot lane. CS is actually looking pretty even in the mid lane, even though it's a little bit down. But top lane CS has gone away. That's going to be an ult actually coming in from the Nocturne. The fear is going to be flashed away from the Pantheon, but that means Pantheon is not going to have flash for a while.
Easy return gank. I mean, that's just an easy setup. It also gives Will a chance for a nice back. With Catalyst roaming up here, I think they were just trying to set up for more in case maybe a re-engage. But it looks like they can just push for advantage. And we have an engage in bot lane.
Yeah, and unfortunately he is going to go down. Ult was used from the Rakan. So ult was used from the Rakan to get the channel off. The cleanse was actually not used by Omiigiri throughout any of that. So I don't know if he either forgot about it or you can't cleanse Rakan ult. I don't know.
I'm not sure on that, honestly, but I don't think it really would have mattered just because they got so much damage on him at that point that the ult from Caitlyn was going to kill no matter what.
Right, but the hook going to be on the Caitlyn is going to be hitting into the actual thing. That's going to be TF coming down from the ult, and that looks like TF is going to get the kill onto the Caitlyn. TF is also going to throw the Q and get the double kill onto the Onto that Rakan. So that's making Will 3-0 and making those roams like you were talking about insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, Will's a roamer. He likes to play around his lanes. But he's also getting advantages for himself. This TF is so strong right now that as soon as you have to be wary when that ult is on cooldown. Omiigiri also gets his ult off, gets an assist for it, and now you just have immense pressure around this mid bot side that you can easily decide to go for another play or just try and just barrel down this dragon if they really want to.
All right, and looking on that hook as we get into another fight here, we've got the Thresh coming in and look for the hook. The hook's gonna hit onto the Pantheon. We got the blue smite coming out onto that Pantheon. Pantheon is gonna go down by Will again. We got an ult going on top lane. That's gonna be Turtle getting the solo kill on the Vladimir in the ult. Vladimir ult was gonna be used, and Meowington team is gonna start on that Windrake. We got Caitlyn who's gonna be looking for a retaliation. That's going to be Nocturne ult is going to be used to get rid of the vision. Nocturne is going to flash over the wall. Nocturne is going to go back in onto the Caitlyn with the thing in the back. The red team is going to get the dragon, but the hook's going to be hitting onto the Sejuani. Sejuani is going to flash and hit the ultimate, but you still got the TF just kind of sitting there hitting cards and getting another kill on the Sejuani, putting him at 5-0. Fear is going to be hit onto the Rakan. From that's going to be the Ashe ult's going to go down. That's going to be Pantheon coming back in. The hook is going to hit onto the Pantheon. Ashe is going to be sitting there wailing away. We're going to see if maybe Thresh can get away, and that's not any death toward Meowington, and that is going to be 3 death. Oh no, there it is. There's a death onto the Nocturne. But amazing team play from Meowington there.
That's huge. The fact that Catalyst gets away with his life there, and the fact that BigKash doesn't die until that very last second. Oh, wait, I spoke too soon.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he was backing on a ward, so Caitlyn Holt was knocked him down. But getting some return kills back, which the NCC needed, and they got the dragon, but still, being able to get the solo kill on that top lane from Turtle was insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, if Turtle gets ahead in this matchup at all, the Vladimir becomes just really dependent on his team to try and do anything, and at this point, he's not going to be getting any help.
Right. Then we got Ashe just shredding armor at this point. Q is going to be missed. The W is going to be missed as well. But Caitlyn showing her superior skills. That's going to be another TF ult going to come in, but he is going to get hit. He is going to get charmed. The stopwatch, I believe, is going to come out. There's another trap, but you still got Nocturne in the back. Nocturne's actually going to blue smite. That's actually going to be a flash from Wimbly to get the kill onto the Caitlyn there. Was that worth? I don't know, actually, if that flash was worth it or not.
100%. 100%. I mean, the Caitlyn got reset there on gold. On top of it, you get that kill really easily. And now you just get those turret plates, right? He gets to reset, teleports right back to mid. And he's doing just fine, you know. What is NCC gonna do against it?
Right.
At this point, you get so much out of that play.
All right, we got Pantheon and the jungler. Pantheon looking like he's gonna ult into that tri-bush there. Oh, he is gonna be seen. Nope. Pantheon's just gonna go in for the ult. Mort is gonna ult. That's gonna be a lot of tower shots being taken from NCC. The flash is gonna be used, but the Q is going to miss. And unfortunately, Mort is going to go down. But very valiant effort trying to get that. That's going to be a Nocturne ult actually going to be coming in. And I don't know what BigKash was thinking there going into 3 of them like that. Especially onto a Vladimir.
Yeah, definitely that was a misplay by BigKash there. Maybe thinking he got some easy kills. But they do get the first turret, which is huge. Yeah, Will gets more gold in his pocket. And I mean, NCC's trying to keep clawing their way back in, so there's always that for them.
Yeah, NCC is grabbing both bot tier 1 and top tier 1, while Meowington did grab the mid tier 1, but Meowington did get the first tower gold, but it looks like NCC is looking to take that Rift Herald.
Yeah, I think that's the right play at this point. There's nothing else on the table, and your laners have to push out to a point where it's not safe for them anymore. There's no reason for that Sejuani to back at this point, so I think it's just a free Rift Herald for them, and they can use that to try and transition bot lane or even mid.
Right. Now Mordekaiser is actually going to see them out, but I don't think they're going to do anything about that. They're just going to let that go. NCC is going to take the first Rift Herald. Most likely going to be looking to take it mid lane because that's the only lane they have cracked open, or they haven't, or they're going to look to push out another lane.
Yeah, I mean, really and truly, there's not much they can do past River at this point, just because of the dive potential from Meowington. So I agree with you. Their best bet is to use it mid, unless they can make a pick either bot or top lane. And at this point, it looks like the bot lane is going to probably be able to push up, trade that bot turret, so we're going to even out the turret score here pretty soon. I would, if I was a betting man. And so they're going to be a high contest for this dragon. So Meowington's going to have to reset their bot lane if they have gold to spend.
All right,
and just try to make sure.
We got TF ult going to be coming in. That's going to be Ashe ult hitting onto the Rakan. TF is going to be sitting there throwing cards. That's going to be a TP coming down. That's going to be a Pantheon ult also coming in. TP's coming in from the Vladimir. Vladimir is going to get hooked in by the Mordekaiser. Going to get hit a little bit, but is going to have to back off. We do, as we said, it is a mountain. It is a mountain soul that is coming up. Now the dragon is spawning in 3 seconds. So a lot of stuff is being used there to get to that bot lane.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a win for Meowington. You burn what? An ultimate for an ultimate, a TP, and a flash. I mean, you just take away a lot of their engage and safety. And so I believe NCC needs to either just give this up or they have to try and fight late.
It looks like they're going to give it up a little bit, but they're going to start engaging on the fight. That's going to be the Thresh going down to the Caitlyn, but that is the Mordekaiser ult going to try to get onto the onto the Vladimir, but Mordekaiser is just going to be left to his own doings, unfortunately, from the rest of the team. So Meowington is getting that dragon, and the Rift Herald is going to go down mid. That is going to crack open mid tier 1, but unfortunately the fight did not go so well in Meowington's favor.
Yeah, and so this is what I'm talking about. You want to see the teams kind of struggle a little bit. They get to save the charge as well, so they get a full health, and they're probably going to take this tier 2 no matter what.
Very interesting. Those Caitlyn traps are being placed very well, and is insane how well they are being placed to stop Meowington in their tracks from trying to respond to the answer to the dive.
Ooh, but those wild cards from Will, they're just shredding through. You saw that Caitlyn take about a quarter of her health with one little hit.
Yeah, and the ult's actually going to come in, and she is going to E back over the wall. Oh my gosh, she's going to take the blue buff from this Sejuani. That's going to be the Nocturne ult going in onto the Pantheon. The Thresh Lantern is going to go back over the wall. NCC is just being ran around these walls. They don't know what to do, and the Caitlyn is going to get off, but that's 2 kills going over to Meowington. Very good picks.
Yeah, and once again, you know, you get that heal out of the Caitlyn, you get the Pantheon Ignite, and you get a jungler down. I mean, at this point, you start pushing lanes, trying to set up for those tier 2s. The fact that NCC didn't get that tier 2 mid is a huge win for Meowington, just because at the end of the day, like, that could have busted out so much harder for them. And now I think Meowington's in a good spot to try and get vision, try and set up a fight, whether around Baron or even the next drag that we have coming up here pretty soon.
Right, we do have the next dragon coming up in 3 minutes. Now, being the face that it's a mountain soul, getting on those shields, it'll be very interesting to see how that's going to be played around. But it's looked like Omiigiri is taking another defensive Ashe build, being now 0-1 and 8. But is actually doing really well with his arrows. His arrows have been pretty spot on and helping out the team fight. So it's been a win-win. That is going to be another ult also coming down from Will, and another ult from Ashe coming down onto that Pantheon. Pantheon is going to stun and flash over, but the flash gold card is going to stop him in his tracks. The Q is actually going to miss from Will, and I don't think that kill is actually going to go through. The ult from the Rakan is going to go in through, though, but Will is going to get that kill. Unfortunately, I think the Caitlyn will go down. He's going to die with a gold card. He said, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to take the Caitlyn with me. Hook from the Thresh is going to be hitting onto the Rakan, so is the Flay. Rakan is going to go down by the last arrow coming in from Omiigiri. That's making Omiigiri 2-1 and 9. Will throwing the hero play gold card.
Yeah, I mean, definitely great play. I don't know if it was necessarily worth it. I mean, other than the fact that they get the turret. But if you're looking at Will and you're talking KDA, I'm gonna say not worth every time. You wanna preserve that KDA, right? But for the team, that's definitely a worthy play. They get the tier 2 bot, and they now have this whole control of the bot side, being able to set up for that Drake whenever they want.
Right, yeah, that control is going to be very good for Meowington to grab, especially getting those deep wards and being able to get that vision onto the onto NCC. As we are talking though, it looks like Vladimir is doing his own thing in the top lane. It's looking like Vladimir is trying to just stay out of fights right now and just trying to scale up. Is that a good thing or a bad thing coming in from NCC here?
I think it's the best thing they can do right now. Vladimir's going to be their scaling win condition, and I think at this point, getting him as much gold and as many items as possible just to weather the storm is going to be huge. The only issue I have is he went ahead and got that Spirit Visage early for the lane matchup. But if you look at the rest of Meowington's damage being mostly AD, other than Will, you're really not going to sustain much through that, or you're just looking to try and get a big health ultimate with that. I don't agree with the Spirit Visage right there, honestly. Unless he really wants to try and go 1v1 against the either one of the solo laners.
Right. It's looking like we're having a vision battle right now. Thresh, you know, wailing on that pink ward, trying to get as much as possible. We do have the Pantheon sitting there in that bush, though. But, like we said, the ults have been pretty spot on, and I'm pretty sure Will has used his TF ult off cooldown every single time.
Well, it's off cooldown right now, so I'm waiting to see him use it on something here. But that dragon coming up, I mean, like I said, this is a huge point. If NCC gives this one up, then Meowington's on soul point, and that's huge because, like I said, I believe out of the two, Mountain Drake is best. And here's TF ult that we were talking about.
There's the TF ult and the Ashe ult. They are going to try to get that Sejuani down. Sejuani is going to go down. Rakan is going to use his ult and is going to get into the back line. Mordekaiser ult is going to be actually onto the Caitlyn there. Mordekaiser is going to try to get it, but Mordekaiser is going to go down, unfortunately, in the ultimate. And Pantheon did hit in the back lane, and Meowington just got shredded in that team fight.
Yeah, like I said, that Vladimir getting that gold, definitely huge for him. And this is going to be the ace right here for NCC. There's no doubt about it. Oh, nice stopwatch to delay it a bit.
Yeah, getting the stopwatch being the ace, and that is going to be the Mountain Drake going over to going over to NCC. Now let's talk about that fight for a little bit. So we had a very good engage, from Meowington, right? The hook was hit onto the Sejuani. Everything was used on the Sejuani, and we got the Sejuani killed. Now we had Will ult in the Will ult actually missed. Wimbly's ult actually missed, but then we got the Mordekaiser ult onto the Caitlyn, which serves a dual purpose, right? We got the Caitlyn getting out of that fight, but with Caitlyn being so powerful, I don't think actually ulting Caitlyn from Mordekaiser was the best idea, because then that canceled out the push from Meowington to move upwards, and then we just got flanked from behind.
Yeah, absolutely, but also if you notice, there was one key ultimate that wasn't used on Meowington's side, and that's going to be that Nocturne ultimate. Had Nocturne just ulted straight onto the Caitlyn, and just cut the vision off for the rest of the team, even if he doesn't get there and still dies like he did, that gives a huge boost to your team, because now that Rakan can't get to safety as quickly, and maybe you get that pick, and maybe that fight turns a little bit better for you in the end. Right. So that's what I would be looking at, is why wasn't the Nocturne ultimate used in that fight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do believe that Nocturne ult was not used because Caitlyn was immediately ulted by the Mordekaiser in that fight. So that's the dual edge of Mordekaiser ult. Mordekaiser ult can go either really well for the team, or if you make a bad choose, it can go really poorly, really fast.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The problem is a Mord is also on top of it. Once you're stuck in there with that person, you are stuck in there for a good duration. So like you said, I agree with you, the Caitlyn was probably the wrong target to utilize that on, just because the Caitlyn can shred through you so quickly at this point. I mean, she's so strong. And she's got that Infinity Edge now with that Storm Razor. I mean, there's no chance you're going to just beat her up in that Death Realm, even with her reduced stats.
Right. It looks like the Ashe Hawk is going to see all 5 of them, and the fun bush was not so fun anymore.
I mean, I get what they're doing, and it's the right setup. They have complete vision. They have complete control at this point. Meowington has to step up to use anything.
Right.
And so if you can do that and just start the fight on your terms, I think Meowington's going to lose it.
Right. It'd be very interesting to see if they actually use the Nocturne ult on this next fight. Like we said, Nocturne ult does cancel out vision for the enemy team and can just be used just to cancel out that vision. You don't necessarily have to go onto someone during that Nocturne ult, which is nice.
Yeah, and even, that's what I'm saying, even if they had used it in that last fight, it would have been beneficial, right? Just because it would have turned the vision off for the Rakan, he couldn't have jumped back to the Caitlyn as quickly. And maybe that 1 extra second or half a second would have been enough to get an extra kill and maybe turn that fight between the Pantheon and the Vladimir for a 3v2 a little bit easier.
All right, now we're talking about carries, right? We've got the Caitlyn being able to shred, and then we've got the Vlad just being able to out heal. What is Meowington gonna have to like really focus on to get rid of? Is it gonna have to be the Caitlyn, or is it the Vlad, or someone else who can set each one of them up?
I'm going to give you a third option. It's going to be called Grievous Wounds.
True.
Because it's going to benefit against both of those targets, and I think no matter what, you have to have those in this matchup.
Right.
If I'm Mordekaiser, you start building tank, you start going that Thornmail, and Omiigiri needs to start looking for that Executioner's Calling and something like that, just to be able to sustain a little bit better and shred through that Vlad even harder.
That's going to be a flash stun onto the Nocturne. Nocturne is going to use the ult, like we said, just to get rid of that vision. It's going to actually ult back onto the back line trying to get to the Ashe. The Ashe ult is going to connect onto the Pantheon. Mordekaiser is going to be in the back. The Vlad is actually going to take down the Twisted Fate. And now everything's just going shredded apart again. Vladimir is just running through Meowington right now. Caitlyn ult is going to be used onto the Mordekaiser as well. Mordekaiser actually did get a kill onto the Sejuani. But Thresh is trying to... Oh, the flash! The pool, though. But... Vlad right now is just running through Meowington from that back line. NCC starts the Baron.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying is NCC, they've got the scaling in the top lane. Vladimir's hit his point. He's super strong right now. They're able to keep the Caitlyn alive. It doesn't matter that the Sejuani goes down. Pantheon's just a stun bot at this point. All he has to do is make sure that the Caitlyn or the Vlad stay alive. It's looking like do or die for Meowington at this point. This is looking like they're probably going to drop this first game, unless the NCC just misplays completely, or they can get a really hard pick and they can start trying to get this soul.
Right, so now we've got... Now, this is the first time that we've actually seen Meowington be backed into such a corner. So we've got the Mountain Drake spawning here. We do have NCC with Baron. Like you said, Meowington is going to have to probably look for some really hard pick, or they're going to have to get really lucky and have NCC make a mistake. What would NCC have to do mistake-wise to have them actually lose the next team fight?
You need one of your engagers to definitely be the one that gets picked off. Or even your big damage dealers. If you can get a Caitlyn or a Vlad, like instant win, right? That's huge. But if you can just kill that Rakan really fast, and then just kind of surge out.
So the Mordekaiser tried to pull him back. Unfortunately, he pulled back the wrong man there. And the Pantheon was able to just jump on him. The QSS was actually used, and the flash from the Caitlyn, so that's not going to be a lot going on there. But they are going to start Dragon. That is going to be... Ooh, that is trying to be a hero play from BigKash. Unfortunately, BigKash is going to lose the smite off, and now that's going to be soul point for NCC. BigKash is able to survive, though, through the Thresh Lantern.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right call. You have to try and make a play here at this point. You don't want to just give up soul point. You're already down. You've already given up the Baron. You're down a kill. You know, so you're down almost 5.5k, right? You've got to try and make a play. The Thresh Lantern was great. You know, it sucks you missed the smite, but it's a 50-50 at that point. You did the best you could.
Right, yeah. Both with actually the Nocturne being up in a level, it was actually a little bit more advantage towards that Nocturne. But like you said, with everyone else there, it did turn into a 50-50. Thankfully, he was able to click on the Thresh Lantern. Thresh Lantern was expertly placed, by the way, from Matt. And it's looking like the Vladimir wants to fight there. Vladimir ult is going to be used, so his Mordekaiser ult is going to be socked down. Here comes the rest of the team. That's going to be a flash going to be used from the Vladimir. Vladimir is going to try to get the kill. The E is going to go on. Vladimir is actually going to get stunned. Vladimir is going to go down. Shutdown gold going onto the Ashe. That is very large. We got the Thresh hook is going to get hit on the Pantheon. Thresh play is also going to be hit, but unfortunately tower is not going to be put on. Tower aggro is not going to be put on the right person. Hook is going to be hit again. So is the Flay. And we've got a lot of Thresh hooks hitting. That's going to be Rakan ult's going to come in. That's going to be everyone's going to be charmed. Everyone's focused on getting down the T at Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate is going to go down from the Ashe. From the Caitlyn, sorry. Ashe is going to go down, and so will the support. And it's looking like NCC might be able to push this into a win.
Yeah, with Nocturne up top side, they tried to hold a base race. There's not much that Meowington can do. You just say GG and move on to the next game.
Right.
This game's just over. Congrats to NCC taking the first game off of Meowington. It was a hard-fought game. Meowington did really good in the early game, but I think their comp just gets outscaled, and I think they just let it happen too quickly.